happen. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad, I've been bad, got cold that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song.
Hello, everybody. Some good news happened. What is today? Sunday? I think it happened on Friday. And I totally forgot about it until this morning. Because we have been covering this case. And if it wasn't for Bob Miller, the Lawless files, I wouldn't know about this case. But some good news came. Let me show this here. Hold on a minute. And then we'll get to it. Okay. You guys remember here? This here is Mischelle Lawless. This here is her ex-boyfriend back in 1992. She was murdered. He was arrested. Now, if you guys recall, hi Misty. If you guys recall, oh no, where is it? No. Why would I take that? Hold on a minute, you guys. I'm not happy right now. Hold on, I gotta fix something. Misty, talk to the people. Talk to the people, girl. I gotta find something here. I don't know how it got deleted. All right, you guys, I found it. I'm going to have to, this is how confusing this gets. I'm going to have to download it to my computer, so give me a minute. My dad might be popping in here, just so you know, because my dad still can't get used to what social media is about when I'm live. He knows, I'm live, I'm talking to people. But you know what? He thinks he don't have to. The rules don't apply to him. That's what he thinks. My dad lives down the hall from me, okay? Just so you people know. I moved next door to my parents so I could take care of them. And there's that. Anybody got anything to say about that? Okay, guys. All right, now I'm going to bring this up here. I don't know if you guys remember this. This man here, his name is John. Oh God, how do you say his last name? Kezer? Or yeah, Kezer. He's the one that got arrested. No evidence, no DNA, not nada, nothing. Got arrested, and he spent what I think uh, maybe 2 decades in prison for the murder. For the murder of her. He wasn't even in the state. So this man, her ex-boyfriend, or was it her boyfriend at the time? I think we'll find out. He let that man sit. This kid, he was a kid. All he was a young kid. He let him sit in prison for something he did. So, anyways, whatever. It's good news. It's good news. Okay. And what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna put this down. We're gonna go to Facebook because it's blown up on Facebook. Now, I give a lot of credit, like I said, to Lawless Files. Bob has worked really, really hard on this case. Oh gosh, let me mute my phone. Oh, busy, busy. God, what? I gotta turn everything. Uh, Sorry, guys. Sorry. I got some good stuff coming up that I want to do. All right. Thank you, Misty. Thank you very much. Okay, this is what. Okay, what should I do first? Okay, this is Bob. Okay. You know what? We're going to go to. Oh, all the links that are in the chat are all the people that I'm talking about right now. Okay. I want to go to her YouTube or her YouTube. Her Oh yeah, and Bob's newspaper too. Did I put Bob's newspaper in there? Yeah, I did. All right. And the way she went, you guys, the way, oh, horrible, horrible. Hi, Miss Barbara. How you doing? We just did a live on this, remember? 4 weeks ago or so? Hold on a minute, where am I? Okay, that's Bob. That's Josh. Here we go. So, here is this. It says for immediate release. Angela Mischelle Lawless was brutally murdered on November 8, 1992. On June 7, 2023, the special prosecutor was appointed to investigate this crime and bring the responsible party to justice. After an 18-month investigation, it was determined that significant evidence existed to bring this case before the Scott County Grand Jury. Based on the evidence presented to the grand jury, an indictment for felony has been issued. Leon Lamb has been charged with murder in first degree and armed criminal action for the murder of Mischelle Lawless. On December 20th, Mr. Lamb was arrested in Conway, Arkansas, and is being held without bond at this time. You know what? When we watched that cop, you guys remember that? God, I don't know if you guys remember that. Because it was everything was on my other channel, right? Everything we even watched. Because I had it in queued up, and I had the video set on private. I still have the live that we did, but that don't matter. So let's just go here to see what Bob says, because Bob has been on this. You what? I do remember that, and I don't think Bob or anybody believes this guy did it either. Really? Okay. What about her DNA under his fingernails. Or his DNA. He says, Lawless Files, Bob says, what a crazy day, lots of thoughts. Everyone is asking what I think. Here's a first stab at it. If Leon did this, then let justice ring. Surely, if Leon killed Mischelle and let Josh Kezer serve prison all those years, he deserves whatever justice is coming. Law enforcement has access and authority to do different things than a journalist can do. They can run DNA tests, they can run test bullets and compel people to talk. I can't do those type of things, but I'm from Missouri and they're going to have to show me. Word from the underground is that the new evidence has been collected. I have no idea what that might be. I hope soon we will see it. I don't know what I don't know. Clearly, the grand jury believe the evidence lines up. See, you know what? The grand jury knows more than all of us right now. The grand jury knows a lot more than us in the evidence. Grand jury were lost before the trial began. Okay, hold on a minute. Where am I? Hold on. Well, clearly, the grand jury believed the evidence lines up. The grand jury once allegedly indicted Josh, too. Records of the grand jury were lost before the trial began. Oh, isn't that interesting? Because they took the case to grand jury rather than charging Lamb through the normal process, we won't get a probable cause statement explaining the evidence. They have to make an arrest. We'll have to wait for the evidence to come through the courts. My guess is they'll be working hard in the coming hours and days to draw a confession from him. We know from previous investigations, Michelle's fingernails contain Leon's DNA. Leon has stated from the beginning that Mischelle stopped at his house before she went home and they had sex. Then Sheriff Bill Barrow and his deputy and the lead detective on the case, Brenda, went to Leon's house hours after the murder and looked in Leon's car truck. Maybe car trunk. They did not see any evidence or traces of mud or anything. Some tested later that they saw Mischelle from a distance arguing with him at his car. Mischelle outside the car, Leon inside, while Mischelle was out cruising with Eric and Vince. Lamb denied that. They questioned Lamb a couple times. Leon was given a polygraph. He passed. They moved on. Rick Walter looked into Lamb. He found the DNA evidence, but Lamb's explanation made sense with the story he'd been telling since the beginning. I reached out to Lamb. He was standing by previous statements. He invited me into his home in Arkansas if I wanted to do a deeper interview and find out what he'd heard from the case. But the week I had to schedule, the county went on lockdown. I asked Michelle's friends and family and some of Leon's friends about Leon. None of them suspected he would do something like this. That doesn't remove the evidence, but it gave me nothing to go on. No one who has investigated this case has been able to build a case against Lamb, though admittedly, the evidence against Lamb is much stronger than it was against Josh. Josh's private investigator didn't turn up anything against Leon either. My belief is that it took more than one person to do this crime. It really looks like Mischelle was grabbed by the wrist, fingernail indentations, and hefted over the guardrail, which indicates someone also had her by the shoes. Lamb is a known entity. Others who have looked into this case, including Walter and Farrell, believe this is a two-person crime, but beyond the DNA, nothing emerged on motive or corroborating evidence. Apparently, David James has turned up new information. Holy crap, I gotta take a break. Hold on a minute. That's a lot of reading for me. Okay, let me look at my comments here. Hold on, where are we? Okay, we read that. Provide. I understand they had sex earlier that day. They're saying they. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on, I need to take a drink. I need to take a drink of pop, people, and water. Does anybody know what the family thinks? Okay. But we also have evidence against other people, several witnesses who I think are credible. Oh yeah, it's hitting me now. What about those two guys? I got their pictures. The ones that lied to about Josh, but then there's the guy that worked at the jail that told the other dude to go home. Remember? Something like that? Yeah, I got Josh's pulled up already. Yes, the twins. Yes. 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 That's right. I was going to contact him. I just got too much going on. Oh, yes. Here we go. Here we go. Several witnesses, I think, are credible who have the court under oath that Kevin Williams and or Mark Abbott pointed at another one being involved. Many more have said so, not under oath, but to investigators. Much of this information I've shared, some of it I have not, because I feared I'd be putting them in danger. I personally am not convinced that Mark Evatt pulled the trigger. That's right, because his brother would always say what was his brother's name? The other one? Okay. He doesn't think that Mark pulled the trigger. He's shifting in testimony and lies about Josh seems to indicate he was protecting someone and therefore knows something about what happened that night. I won't go into all the details. That's what the podcast was for, which we did go through the video. Here's some information about the current investigation. The Attorney General's office failed miserably to look at the case. The man in charge of the Attorney General's cold case unit, a friend of the original prosecutor, Kenny, never got off of Josh, which means he simply didn't review the evidence. The case file and the testimony from Josh's, I don't know that word. For anything to get done, it would have to be done under prosecutor Don Cobb. He went to the judge to appoint his friend and colleague Moss as a special prosecutor. Moss then hired retired detective David James to the lead of the investigation. James vowed to start over from scratch. He would review the first 48 hours on the case, interview close subjects again, see what evidence existed in multiple interviews I've done with James. I know this. He starts with the inner circle and he won't move off the inner circle until he can eliminate everyone in the circle. That was the situation in the Lee Moore murder in Whitewater, Missouri in 1991, which was never solved. Oh boy. Even when I brought a tip to him from a source who said that the case and Mischelle was connected, James approached this case the same way. Liam was in the inner circle as Mischelle's boyfriend, Lyle Dell. I'm confused. Hold on a minute. I'm talking to myself, you guys, out loud. Oh my God, Bob had a lot to say. Holy. The twins that were drug dealers. Matt. Yes. Matt. All right. Where was I? I've said many times that number one challenge to bringing charges against Abbott or Williams was the reasonable doubt that existed with Leon Lamb. But they'll have to show me, because what's currently in the public domain from court testimony and investigative files and what inside sources have told me over and over again was that one or more Abbotts and Williams were involved. Williams no longer has an alibi for his whereabouts the night Mischelle was killed. Several people purged themselves. Yes, they did. In this case, Mark Abbott literally told the police he saw Williams shoot her. I can say, you know what? They're all liars out there. Never mind. I can say with comfortable certainty that David James has not interviewed Mark Abbott about the murder of Mischelle. Even though Mark reported the crime, oh, that's right, saw her bloody body and said he heard her gurgle. Oh my God, for real? See, I didn't know that. Oh my God. Bob knows way more than me, that's for sure. Oh my God. Hold on a minute. Oh, jeez. And was listed as a suspect in note taken by Brenda. Days after the murder, Mark may have been the last person to see Mischelle alive. The new investigation, which was said to have started from the beginning, neglected to talk about the person who reported that she'd been shot down there on the exit ramp. It neglected to interview the man whose story changed many times and identified two different suspects at the same time. Okay, I remember that. Both of whom looked wildly different. That's right. They didn't talk to the guy who went back down to the crime scene after reporting the shooting. They intentionally ignored the elephant in the room, which to me is a weird way to run an investigation. Unless, of course, they truly have a smoking gun. For everyone's sake, I hope they have it. Surely they did not publicize the indictment on a shaky case, especially this one. See, and I agree with that statement too, also, because this is a big case, okay? Especially for you Missourians, all right? But even, us people on the internet that have learned about the case through Bob and, Miss Barbara and, so on, and Missy, you don't think they'd put another innocent person. They wouldn't charge, you don't think they would charge an innocent person like they did with Josh, right? Because this is high profile. What you were going to say, the liars. I know. I said that right at the beginning. That Bob has been on this case and he's put his heart and soul into it. All right, where am I? Where's the smoking gun? Smoking gun. There we go. For everyone's sake, I hope they have. Surely, okay, they didn't publicize an indictment on shaky case. Either way, Mark Abbott will surely be called to testify at trial if this case makes it that far. This time, probable for the defense. David James and Alan Moss have been around for a long time. They know the mountains of reasonable doubt that exist from investigations that have transpired since Josh was convicted in 1994 and since he was exonerated. They better have overwhelming evidence because Lamb's defense attorney will have a lot to work with. What does FWIF mean? I don't know what that means. For those wondering, of the people I've talked to who were involved with the Abbotts, Williams, and the meth ring, not a single person has told me Lamb was connected with that group. The Operation Speed Bump records did not mention that. I spent a lot of my time exploring the potential connections, like I did trying to nail down the connection between Mischelle and Abbott. So it's come to this. Lamb is charged with first-degree murder of Mischelle. The retired detective and special prosecutor spent 18 months looking into this case. They believe they have their guy. It's shocking to me that other familiar cases, Lamb has always been the reasonable doubt. Oh, someone at my door. The completion. But man, if Leon didn't do it, then those who really know, must come forward now and put an end to this. Surely this won't remain silent while another potential innocent man goes on trial for Michelle's murder. As always, I feel for Michelle's family. My goodness, this is not what they expected. They wait like the rest of us to see what the detective has uncovered. Again, I judge this for them. We all want truth. We all want justice. Let's all pray we get it right this time. For what it's worth, the image above is David James providing escort of Josh for his hearing in Cape Girardeau County before Josh's trial later in St. Genevieve. Walking behind is Bill in the cowboy hat. Is it here? Yeah. Taken during the CBS during the trial coverage. So there's that. Good work, Bob. I'm gonna give you a hand clap. I'm going to give you a hand clap. That's all right. Okay, I'm going to look at the comments here in a minute. Hold on. Okay. Now we're going to look at Josh's statement that I have pulled up here. Hold on a minute. Okay, this is Josh's. Josh is the man. Here, let me put his face up here. He's the man that got convicted of Michelle's murder, and he wasn't even in the state. And there's nothing that put him there. No DNA, no blood, nothing. But he did a couple decades, I think. Maybe 16, 18 years. I don't know. But he did time on death row. That I do know. Okay, Josh says, Leon Lamb has been charged with the November 8th, 1982 murder of Angela Mischelle Lawless and armed criminal action. I once faced life in prison and the possibility of death by lethal injection for the same murder. On June 17, 1994, I was convicted in a jury trial on August 2nd, 1994, on what would have been Michelle's 21st birthday. Oh my God, was she young? Holy crap, she's a baby. I was sentenced to, I thought he got the death penalty. I was sentenced to 2 consecutive 30-year sentences, 60 years. I spent 16 years in Missouri Department of Corrections and grew up in the Time magazine, once called the bloodiest 47 acres in America, before becoming the first person in history of Missouri to be given the honorary actual innocence. I was 34 on 2/16/2009. I was exonerated on the 17th, 2009. I was released on the 18th, 2009. I'm currently 49 years old. I've released a statement on Lamb's arrest to the Channel 12 News, a Southeast Missouri CBS television news affiliate. It's a portion of what should be released here soon. Okay, where is it? Okay, this is what he says. Hey, Miss Barbara, I gotta look at my comments. I'm sorry, I'm back in StreamYard. 16 years. Oh, I had it, but thank you, love. Okay, Miss Barbara, do you have the CBS? He did an interview on CBS out there, Channel 12, FBBS Channel 12. What he says in quotations: in 1993, I was indicted, charged, and in 1994, convicted 16 years after the fact. I was proven innocent. The presumption of innocence is a fundamental principle of the U.S. Oh, you know what? This man knows what he's talking about because he fights for people, for injustice. Of the U.S. justice system, it means that an accused is presumed innocent until the government proves there's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Lamb is owed the presumptions of innocence. The Lawless family in Southwest Missourians are owned transparency. Mischelle Lawless is owned justice as she deserves. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah, I know he wrote a book. No, he just did an interview. He just did an interview. Hold on, let me get this off the thing. I'm sorry. Let me get this off. Okay, and of course, because you guys would know more. You live out there in Missouri. I don't, but I got this. Only this to look at. We don't get no probable cause. You don't get nothing out there in Missouri, okay? I can tell you that much. So all we got here is a warrant for arrest, grand jury indictment. Okay, this is it. This is it. No bond. No bond allowed. It was signed on the 19th. So there's that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's see. This is Bob's newspaper that he works at, the Southeast Missourian, and I put the link in the chat, and he talks about this here. Let's see. Hey, she's just a baby, you guys. I didn't know she was that young. Wow. Okay. Did they do a press conference out there? I'm wondering. Did they do a press conference out there for you guys in Missouri about this? Because this is such a high-profile case out there, you would think that they would, especially since they already failed Mischelle already, right? They would do a presser to be really transparent with you people. Well, we know how it is out there in Missouri. I'm sorry to say it. They are not transparent. Don't ever commit a crime out there, people. Don't even walk wrong out there. Okay. So what we're gonna look at the crime scene here, okay? And then we're gonna watch Josh's thing when he's found exonerated. Okay, we're gonna watch a few videos of that. Oh shit. Oops, watch my mouth. Okay, I gotta put on my headphones. Oh god, I hate those. I do, guys, I do. Alright. Hold on a minute. Here we go. This is crime scene.
Northbound ramp, the Denton exit at I-55, scene of a potential homicide. Viewing a maroon, looks like what appears to be a Buick Skylark. Today's date is November the 8th, 1992 at 3:49 a.m. There's what appears to be blood splatters on the highway. It's been labeled as evidentiary items at this point. Pool of blood approximately 16-18 inches away from the tire of the vehicle. This article is clothing in the rear of the vehicle. appears to be another shell casing on the right side of the passenger door. Purse, which is a tan vinyl, was apparently laying underneath the head in the passenger seat. Has been removed to the rear vehicle. Has blood stains on the outside. Been told the vehicle, upon first arrival, the driver's window was down as it is now with the door closed. The car was running, keys in the ignition. The passenger door was locked. It is a clear night, cold, probably close to freezing. A full moon. Apparently a blood trail leads from the car from the left front tire around the front of the vehicle, back off to the east to the guardrail, and potentially down the embankment off the guardrail.
That's where I became confused about the case. I didn't know if the blood was from the victim or the perpetrator, because there was a lot of blood. Now, why would there be blood? This is what I'm thinking, because I didn't know. Over this barricade and in the grass. Just saying. Uh-oh. Somebody's yelling. Shoot. Somebody might be in a fight here where I live.
There's what appears to be some blood dripped on the guardrail that goes along to the north and east. Appears to be what known here as a blood smear on the guardrail. The victim may have been taken, rubbed back up. There's a large pool of blood in the grass. Okay, from the car, crossing the guardrail, find a spot of blood 3 feet safe from the guardrail. What appears to be a slight trail.
There's some right there. There's some right there. There's some there. There's some right
Going
there.
downhill. Okay, let's go downhill, guys. Turn your light.
It goes right through there, Steve.
Further on out is the mobile home sales lot.
See, look how wide this is.
Well, maybe
It's almost
somebody's
like she was rolling grass.
Blood about 8 feet in a depressed area from the guardrail. Going down the hill now.
Okay, see, I'm so confused. I say I'm confused because if she was shot in her car, why are they saying that? How would she get in and out of the car? I'm confused. Noah, we will not do that. Hold on a minute. Okay, we're going to go to Josh's thing. Here we go. There's the sheriff. This is Josh's hearing where he was exonerated. There's a bunch of different clips.
5. Did you reopen the investigation into the Lawless murder?
Not officially. What I did was I found the old case files and got it out, spread everything out that we had, and started reading. That was probably, I don't know, September roughly, maybe a little sooner than that, maybe August, I'm not sure. And we started looking at the old case files, started reading the old case files.
Why did you do that, sir? The case was closed. You had a person in prison convicted.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Well, you hear a lot of things. A lot of it came from the street, so to speak, from people that I had talked to. They'd come up to me and over the years, not just since I've been sheriff, and said that they felt that a lot of people said that they asked me point blank, do you have the right guy in prison? And some people said that I didn't. That was, and I also had law enforcement that also told me the same thing, that they felt that maybe there may be more to this case. I've always felt that there was something wrong with it. I felt that maybe more people was involved than just one person.
And did you look into Josh Kezer at all? Find out how old he was at the time this crime was committed?
Yes.
He was 17 years old, wasn't he?
Yes.
And was he living in Kankakee, Illinois?
From what I could find, yes. And he had been in the southeast Missouri area.
From time to time. Was there a crucial witness who saw Josh Kezer, or claimed he saw Josh Kezer at the crime scene within minutes from the time that the car was found?
That Abbott boy, whichever one it was, whether it was Matt or Mark, but that was a big bunch of confusion.
There were a lot of discrepancies with Mr. Abbott's testimony, wasn't there?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall that he told the authorities when they first interviewed him that he knew it was a girl because she had rings on her finger? Remember that?
Yes.
But in fact, there were no rings on her finger, were there?
No, not unless you think the police went out there and took them rings off and put them in the console just to make him look bad with his story, which I don't know.
And did you testify at the trial that you saw Josh Kezer at the Halloween party having an altercation with Mischelle Lawless?
I was mistaken because I said that, but I was,
You
it's an
now,
honest mistake. It was not him.
you now believe you were mistaken.
I know I was mistaken.
I'm going to show you what has been marked for that. The person you saw at the Halloween party had light brown hair. Tell us how you describe the person at Halloween.
He was real clean cut, haircut real short, nothing like that. And at the trial, Josh had his hair real clean cut and everything, and that's why I believed it was him.
You had since told us that same that picture that you were mistaken and you regret it.
I regret it horribly. It affects me every day. An innocent man has been locked up, and he doesn't deserve to be.
Oh, that's sad. That just gave me chills. Can you believe you can't?
In
cannot.
2005.
You cannot go by people saying, I think it was them. They look like them. Oh my God. Can you imagine that? Hold on a minute. Let's go to a playlist. Let's find it. Right here. Let's look at day 2. Here's Josh on the stand.
Good morning, everyone. Can see it.
Oh, I thought he was going to be on the stand.
The gist of the conversation that you had with Mark Abbott, where he talked about being a witness to the Mischelle Lawless murder.
That's okay.
He said that Mischelle Lawless got into her car. Him and Kevin Williams got into their truck. And as she was going northbound on interstate, they followed her. He was flashing his lights. Basically, she pulled over on the exit ramp at the Benton exit. He said he stayed in the vehicle. Kevin Williams got out. They went up, talked a little bit, argued some more. And he said he heard some gunshots. And then he said Kevin Williams ran off toward the east, toward the Farrell Mobile Homes business. And it's at that time he went to report the shooting to the sheriff's department.
Now, I told you that the state took the deposition of Mark Abbott a couple of weeks ago up in prison. And Mark Abbott says you're a liar and you ought to take a polygraph test.
I wouldn't expect any different from him.
Well, we were fixing to go fishing, and I was in the cabin. I think Sammy was outside getting things ready. And the door opened, and Mark Abbott and a friend who I'd never seen before and did not know was with him, and they came in. I'm sure we addressed each other. At that time, I'd heard that Mark had been the one who had came up on this incident and had made the call to the sheriff's department. And so that struck up a conversation. And in that conversation, Mark kind of snickered a little bit and said, "Well, they got the wrong guy."
At this time that you spoke with Mark Abbott, did you have any knowledge that he was a person who used methamphetamine?
Yes, I did. I had heard that. I did not witness him doing that, but I had heard that, yes.
Okay, I gotta
And did you
mute.
seem a little
Or not
strange
mute.
or
I gotta pause
strange
this.
or incoherent or-
What are you doing there, Miss Barbara? You know the guy the guy on the stand? You went on a date with him. Is that right? I know that was crazy when I thought. Oh my god. Sorry. Okay, let's continue.
I didn't think that he did, no. Not at the time. I would have to say not, but I'm not an expert as to what somebody needs to look like or act like if they're on drugs. So I couldn't really say one way or the other, but no, he acted okay.
When I was taken in there, I was sit down in a seat in front of Bill Farrell's desk. Of course, he was sitting in his seat. The lady and the gentleman were to the right of us. And he was just basically asking me, questions like, "How you doing? Do you need anything to drink? How was the trip?" Things like that. And because I had never been through any kind of process like this, I didn't know any better. And out of nowhere, very suddenly, he came unglued. He came across the desk. He stood up, put his hands on the desk, and in a very angry face and a very angry tone, then accused me, and I quote, of killing his little girl.
And how did that hit you?
I really, it's hard to explain how it hit me. I was stunned. I went from no tears to instant tears. I didn't know what was going on. I was under the impression my father was going to be able to come down and bond me out, and we were going to figure this out, and I was going to go back home and go back to work at Kmart and try to do something with my life. And all of a sudden, it just occurred to me almost instantly, these people are trying to do something to me wrong. It was then informed to me it was just informed to me that I was going to be in, they were making it very clear that they were going to make sure that, that I went to prison for this.
You broke down at the time and cried.
Yeah. Very much so. I was terrified.
Were you in Kankakee, Illinois at that time?
During November,
Yes.
during the time of the homicide, yes, I was.
And were you or your relatives able to pinpoint some documentation that showed you were there at that time?
Yes, they were.
And tell me how you were able, or how they were able to determine that you were in Kankakee, Illinois on November 7th and 8th, 1992.
Me and my cousin Michael, we knew a lot of the same people. And somebody informed me that there had been a car accident. And that Michael and Christina, that was the girlfriend, were in the car. And I got scared because, it was my cousin Michael to begin with, and she was pregnant. So I was worried about the baby. So I went over to the house. I was only, it was about a half mile, 6 blocks so away from their house. So I went over to their house. That was around, I remember being between 11 and 12 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. of November 7th. I went over there and I knocked on the door. It was very late at night. Almost all the lights were off. I saw a glimmer of a light and I figured that was a TV. So I went and I knocked on the door and Brenda came to the door and she's seen how upset I was in my face that something was wrong. And she immediately assumed that I knew about the car accident and began to inform me that they were okay. Michael had suffered a bump on his head, but the baby was fine. Everything was fine. And that if I wanted to find out more information, I can come over the next day when everybody would be awake. That's when I left and went back to the Griffey's house. Then you were going to go interview someone or talk to the sheriff about the case. And that's when you discovered that without our knowledge, they had reopened the case, which was a shock. But it was a pleasant shock. You know, I mean, and things kind of then have just kind of kept going and going and going. And I went within a short period, being a man who was trying to accept hopelessness. It's very difficult, to a man who has a lot of hope now, who I kind of, you know, it just feels like things are, you know, I got a chance to maybe get out of here while I'm still young. That too is now weird to me, because just like when I got locked up at first and the culture was foreign to me, it's kind of hard to explain, but after being locked up for so long, I don't even remember what it's like to be free.
All right, let's see, day 3. Here's day 3.
All right.
Hold on, Dad.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you seated? Tell me exactly. You said this is a gentleman who told me at the trial that he had testimony fabricated. Is that your testimony?
He told me that by talking to the snitch witnesses, he told me repeatedly not to take it personally. It was just a case. And that by talking to these witnesses, with these jailhouse witnesses without a recorder or someone with me, it gave him the opportunity to go talk to Sean Mangus and place me on trial and essentially muzzle me. He told me he wanted me out of the case because I knew the facts too well. I didn't know the facts well.
So I just want to make sure I got this right. He did not tell you that he fabricated testimony.
Well,
I say what you said. I just want to know.
He strongly implied that he fabricated testimony with no regret.
Well, if you really believed he fabricated testimony and told you that, wouldn't you view that as unethical?
Oh, virtually everything Mr. Hulshoff did in this case was unethical. Yes, I breached my ethical duty. I should have reported Kenny Hulshoff to the Office of the Chief Disciplinary Counsel for professional misconduct.
But you did.
Yes, I did not report it. No, I did not. I should have. And yes, I broke my ethical duty by not reporting him.
You were a new attorney on this case, weren't you, Mr. Rosner?
My first case out of law school.
Is this worn on you throughout your career?
Yes, Mr. Weiss, but more than anything, I'm ashamed that I didn't go see Josh Kezer in prison. I wasn't a big enough man to do that. This has had a tremendous impact on my career. I don't trust the police. I don't trust prosecutors. I've never seen prosecutorial misconduct this bad in my life.
The strength of the case, I don't think, has gone away. What we've got is we've got an ID, 1 out of 6 that's made immediately on the photographs, 1 out of 8 that's made on similar cars. There's no evidence at all that Abbott had any contact with Mangus, Kelly, Weisinger, or anybody else. I think a reasonable juror can say that's a heck of a long shot to say this guy's going to pick that Kezer 1 out of 6, and the car in which Kezer had access 1 out of 8, and that's going to happen to just exactly be the same guy that 3 people say confessed. Plus, we have the Brantley identification for the week before, which is again 1 out of 6. To me, the jury is also going to look at the testimony that says, "I've never handled a gun," compared to his statement before he knew he was charged with murder, that he was a good shot, and say, that's something else that goes to credibility. And I think that comes in as well. Perhaps that's another thing that's added to the strength of the case. Thank you, sir.
We also think in this case it was actual innocence. We think that Mr. Kezer is innocent of this crime, was innocent from the very beginning. He did not know Mischelle Lawless. Mischelle Lawless did not know him. There wouldn't have been any reason for him somehow to flag Mischelle Lawless down in the middle of the night and shoot her when he was in Kankakee, Illinois. His DNA was found nowhere on the scene. His fingerprints were found nowhere on the scene. There's no gun ever found in this case.
This isn't the only case I have. I mean, I will try to be diligent about working on this project. It's going to take, I'm not going to be able to just get something done in the next 5 to 10 days. All right? And thank you. All right. Case to be taken as submitted.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Can see it.
All right. All right. Let's see. So day 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now I remember when I did this. Okay, these are the 4 men. The one up in the upper left, that's Abbott, right? And these 3 guys here, these are 3 guys that lied about Josh. And they lied about Josh to get less time in prison. So what did they have on him? I mean, really, hearsay? I think that was him? That type of shit? I don't know. But this here is Leon Lamb, and he has now been charged with the murder of Michelle's murder in 1992. He is an ex-boyfriend. That is Chuck. Oh, is it? I thought it was Abbott. The hell am I thinking? Okay, upper right is Chuck. Read Misty's comment. There you go. Got to get it right. Got to get the names right. Got to get it right. Oh. All right, I'm going to close this out on that. And I want to thank you, Misty, always for being here. And Miss Barbara, I want to thank you for being here with me. And anybody who watches the replay. So we'll see what happens here. Of course, there's no documents. There's no probable cause for arrest. That'd be nice to see, right? All right. Do, 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 do.